Alright, so I had a really good idea for... I mean, everyone's been talking about it for a while.
Whoa, you have an idea.
Oh my god.
Are
Fuck
you
guys.
okay? Do you need help?
Are you feeling it? You didn't have a fever recently.
Did you sprout a tumor at night?
Okay. Yeah, thanks, guys. No, but I've had an idea. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about the idea and the concept, and they've even come out with something for it. Assassin's Creed, like in feudal Japan. Like, I always thought this was a really cool idea, and I did some research.
Because of ninjas.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ninjas. You know what their response was?
Hmm.
No, that's too simple, and it has nothing to do with each other.
What?
That's
Okay,
what their response was.
That's
They're
a
like,
bunch of
why
BS.
don't you do Assassin's Creed with ninjas? They're like, no, it's too...
See, they could have
Either
directly...
they said it was too on the nose, like it's too easy, or it was, which is retarded.
Yeah.
Or it was
What the hell did like
It had
Indian
nothing to do
people on
with
the
each other.
islands have to do with like any?
I don't know.
Exactly.
What does sailing have to do with assassins?
And see,
Why are there Native American people doing in the Caribbean?
I mean...
Have you ever thought of that?
That's what I mean.
Isn't
That's
that fucking
what I was
weird?
trying to get at. Like, what? Why are they there? And what, like, point do they have being assassins?
I know, you can make assassins
At what point
anywhere,
did
because, I mean, it's a fictional thing. I mean, it's...
Also, the sailor kid, obviously, was a girl.
Yeah.
I saw that from the moment I'm like, that's either a really young dude or...
Yeah, but it
completely a
seemed
chick.
a little old to still be in that prepubescent phase.
You could still
Right.
see the tits on the chick. It wasn't that well hidden. Like, there was no surprise.
Yeah,
At all.
You
You're like,
see,
oh, that's a girl.
see Edward's face, and then she like you turn, and then she just doesn't have the wig thing on, and then he's like, oh, and then she has her hair down. And it's like, oh, I guess she's kind of okay. And he's like, oh, that's why you gave me bonus.
But it doesn't make sense for them not to do a feudal Japan thing, because it actually turns out right after Ezio's time in the early 1500s, sometime in the mid 1500s.
1400s.
No, well, it starts in the 1400s and then it moves into the 1500s. By the
Well,
time it's-
Ezio didn't go into the 1400s until Brotherhood.
he started in the 1400s.
Wait.
It started in 1476 in the first game.
This guy
And-
knows, right?
And then it went to like 1515.
But art history.
What?
What?
I have art history.
Well,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Okay.
And it started in the Renaissance time,
But,
Okay.
yeah.
which is 1400s.
Well, yeah, it was.
And
at the end
Leonardo
of
da
the
Vinci
1400s.
saw Ezio as he was a kid.
Exactly, because
That-
the first game, Assassin's Creed 2, took place in 1476 when Ezio was like 17 or some
That was
shit.
before the 1400s.
No, it started at like in 1476, and then
Are you sure?
yeah, by the end of the game, it was around 1515. And
okay.
well, after Ezio's time, they could have gone directly into a feudal Japan thing, because in the mid 1500s, Western culture moved its way into the east, into China and Japan, and there actually began missions there for Christianity, and they actually got a lot of Japanese civilians and stuff to convert to Christianity. Therefore, segue with Templars and the whole assassins thing. They could have been like, oh, well, we just fucking heard of these people going to the east, whatever, like, and then they could have migrated and spread their philosophy if they knew that the Templars and the Christians were going there as well.
Yeah, you know what's weird is that even though it happened during the Crusades on the first
Yeah.
game, which is why they're in like the Middle East, and that's why there's Templars there, it's because of Crusades. You know what's weird is that I don't hear anything about the Christian God in that at all.
Yeah.
Like there's hardly any religious things.
Yeah.
Other than just
That's actually a good
this
point.
Templar that and that Templar that.
Yeah.
There's nothing. To
I
do
just
with religion.
I think they missed a little bit something in Assassin's Creed when they stopped doing like Templars like on the streets, like things that you could kill Templars kind of willy nilly. Like, I mean, it took you a while to be able to kill them, but I mean, they were all over the fucking place in the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something they could have kept, for this one, since it's a new area. They don't have to worry about. They didn't think that they would have to worry about their enemies
Templars
being out in
could
the
be
open.
ninjas.
Yeah, Templars could have been ninjas, and then like you would because remember in the Assassin's Creed 3, all of a sudden they threw you for like a loop because you thought you were playing it as an assassin because you were doing all these
And then
assassin things, but you turned out to be a Templar.
And then the
where
new
the fuck
weapon-
did they learn that stuff? I don't know. Maybe it could have been in feudal Japan. Like they
right.
could have like
And then they
you
could
know.
use nunchucks as a weapon.
yeah, like
You could get nunchucks. What, don't you want nunchucks in an Assassin's Creed game? Fucking
And
whip
plus,
a
I
dude
mean,
to death.
they had throwing stars. Like this is all these things like they
Oh,
could have
yeah.
done. And
Totally. Poison shit.
Well, also the
There's also
misconception.
poison powder. Where, and you
Oh
blow it in
yeah,
your eyes,
exactly.
and they're like, "Fuck, I can't fucking see poison."
But did you know that ninjas
Ninjas.
actually didn't dress up in that all black garb like they?
They were farmers.
Well, yeah, they were normal civilian looking people. They're just good at their job that you didn't fucking know they were there.
They were farmers.
So yeah, there you go.
That's
There you
really
go.
fascinating.
Yay.
I'm listening very intently to what you're talking about.
I am part of the conversation.
I'm also a robot.
Please continue your statement. Oh yeah, throw up some.
Continue
Throw
your
up
statement, Fleshling.
Go ahead, talk about like throw up artwork, your artwork on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
There's the artwork.
Insert
yeah.
picture of artwork at this
We
time.
can't see it, but they can see it.
Yeah,
artwork
no,
now. All right, make it pop.
right
Make
there.
it pop
there
up, Jared.
was
Good
this
job.
Templar guy that
Got
I
it.
drew, and it's showing it, but he has like this scar over his eye. I was like, oh, like sinister looking, whatever. But
Yeah.
I gave him big armor and stuff, and I made sure to keep it kind of like Japanese, but with enough Western
Like
culture.
studded,
Yeah.
like studded breastplate, no shoulders, or
Yeah,
put
he has,
shoulders.
yeah, he has shoulders.
Aw.
Just because like I don't see that very often. Like
You should
anymore.
have made like a headdress,
A headdress.
like a cool headdress.
Well, I could now.
That cool Shogun headdress. Because I know he has that cool ponytail in the back.
Yeah.
Where, like,
Yeah,
the legend,
most of them I
the
get
Legend of Korra
ponytails.
style.
Yeah.
Which
Plus, I
heard-
thought, wouldn't it be kind of interesting if there was an order of monks, whatever, that were influenced by the Western culture, and because the assassins didn't want to be known, I thought it'd be cool. Like, what if the assassins put a front up of a monastery, but it turned out that not only were they learning, Buddhism and stuff and martial arts, but they also were learning secretly how to be assassins, like free running and such, like you do in most of the games. Like, I thought that'd be really kind of interesting if the main character,
Yeah. I
had
always
to-
thought it'd be cool if you climbed like a pagoda.
Yeah.
That'd be the shit.
What is the pagoda?
It's like those Japanese temples that are like, it looks like a house, and then another house on top of it, and then another house that
Yeah.
goes like that,
Okay, yeah, all right,
like Kung Fu Panda.
right, yeah.
Two.
I get what you're talking about.
Plus, I already started thinking of some story thing of he could because they would send out people to get the food and stuff and for the temple and things like that. So this boy was
Also,
one of
they
his
need to bring that
tasks.
back. They had like a temple. For
Yeah, they had a
assassins.
temple, for assassins, but they just thought everyone just thinks it's a regular monastery, and so do most of the kids in there and the people. It's not until you're fully initiated as one of them that you know about everything. But anyway, the main character, as kind of a teenager monk person, whatever, he's sent into the village to go grab the food for the monastery, whatever is kind of like his task, whatever.
Oh, now you're talking about your idea.
Yeah, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting, if, because I remember I was watching this movie called Shaolin, and they had this general guy just waltz into a monastery and cause a bunch of shit. I was like, oh, well, that's kind of an interesting thing to segue into here. So that happens, and the kid has to go and secretly defuse the situation when they get there, whatever. The master's talking, something oh, you guys need to leave, whatever. This is a place of peace and all this stuff, and they're cut the crap,
The Templars are onto you.
Yeah, exactly. Something like
the
that.
Templars end up going to the castle, the temple for the assassins in the first game too.
Yeah, the first
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
You were talking
then
about that's what
Altair
was
does
coming to
the-
my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
does
so
the fake leap of faith
since
thing.
I was gonna say is there would be this big architecture thing right there, and you would have to if this was a game, you'd have to climb up and sneak above and drop down on the guy, not kill him, just drop down on him and be just get on top of him and be like,
We'll
hey,
do
you
this
know.
one more time.
Yeah, sort of thing, and they're like, oh god, did they freak out, whatever, and maybe you'd have to calmly use your martial arts, whatever, and kind of demonstrate that you could single-handedly take on these people and showcase that, hey, this is an assassin that knows kung fu now. Now it's up the ante. They got some more skills and stuff. That's all I had so far for
You pull some
today.
Ong Bak Muay Thai moves.
Yeah, exactly.
And, knee, elbow him in the face, and his
his
exactly. whole jaw breaks.
Pretty much he wouldn't have to do anything. They'd have to, they'd charge at him, whatever, and he would just use their momentum against them and just fuck them up. But since it is in their monastery,
that'd be a good thing to do, Aikido.
Yeah, exactly.
To use, since you have to use R to do aggressive stance for anything, you can hold A and then he'll do a walk in Assassin's Creed 1, and if you hold R and then press A, he'll do a sprint.
Yeah.
So R means aggressive or whatever, but then you could press R or L and then press B and he'll do instead of a counter and then counter kill, you could do a counter and then a counter throw.
Yeah.
With your open hand.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like that. Instead
And then
of,
plus it would give a lot of chance, like for
like Aikido
this
does
is why
that.
I don't. This is why I don't understand
Like,
why they
Have you ever
passed
seen
over
Steven
this.
Seagal do it?
Yeah, exactly.
He like
yeah,
a dude runs
the
out
whole
and tries to
video.
punch him. He grabs it, flips the dude, almost breaks his neck,
Yeah.
almost killed him instantly.
I mean,
Like I saw 3 guys run at him, and he just goes. He like moves 2 of them, and then flips the 3rd one.
yeah, they missed a lot of like opportunity, I think, to have a creative fighting style that involved more than one different, stances, like per trigger or something like that. Like you would hold the left trigger to do something like an aggressive stance, or you'd hold the right trigger.
It was
and
just
it would
R.
be something else.
It was just R, and that's
Yeah, like it'd be kind of interesting if all the toggles like did something like right bumper, left bumper, and both triggers like did different like stances or something.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. Like you could bust out different moves and shit,
Mhm.
things like that.
I think the only thing that I miss about the Assassin's Creed 1 fighting style was there was this moment where if you did a counter, you would like punch a dude, and then he would be stunned for a second.
And
And if you
hit the
press
button
X,
again, it
if you
would
press
be a kill.
X, he slits his throat.
Yeah,
If you press like B, I think he punches him or breaks his neck.
yeah.
And if you
so-
press Y, you'll headbutt him. If you press A, you'll break his legs.
damn,
That's
I don't
cool,
remember all
right?
that. Yeah,
That's because it
I
doesn't
probably wasn't
tell
that good at the game.
It doesn't
to be
tell
able to
you.
do that.
It doesn't tell you that.
Yeah,
you
no, that was something that I really loved about the game too, because every
It said-
time I played it again, I found out a
It's
new
like
thing that I
how
could do.
how do you
So, yeah.
execute? That's the thing was like in the
Yeah.
fighting style that I missed completely.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
they-
I didn't know that I could fight with my hidden blade until like the 3rd playthrough of the game. I didn't know that I could do air assassination.
You can only
while
do-
climbing down walls.
Oh
while,
yeah.
and like my 2nd and 4th playthrough of the game. Like
See,
before that, I
it's-
was just playing
It's
it.
really weird because they
Daggers and swords.
they overcomplicated and simplified in the wrong areas. Like
Mhm.
they simplified it to where you know everything that's going on.
Oh yeah, they
But
also
it's,
simplified
it's
it.
really complicated to do all of it.
They also simplified it to where in part 2, you could block while you were using hidden blades or
Oh yeah,
open
yeah.
hands.
But you had to upgrade your armor. in
I
order-
think
yeah.
so with gauntlets, and it's like
Yeah.
that pissed me off because I'm like,
Well, also,
Well,
I thought
I-
it was weird because
I think
your
it
first
makes sense
gauntlet.
because you have like metal gauntlets, so you're like blocking fucking.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like, it's really weird
Guiding
'cause-
it away from you.
Because I was
Yeah, but
recently
it's like-
playing number
Reflecting
two.
that makes me
Whatever.
mad in the gameplay sense because it's like,
I was playing number two
because
again.
for
and-
swords even swords have like a hilt, so that way to prevent
Yeah.
you from sliding down.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, like,
and then hitting your hand. So
You're-
like if it's just your guard, it could slide and hit you if you're not blocking in the right way, or you could just miss, chop off your arm, like your hand, or get you in the elbows and shit like that.
yeah. But I mean, like, your second hidden blade, that's the one that you're upgrading. Because your first one, the one that is even handed down to Desmond, is completely the same. Like,
Mhm.
always. But your second one starts out metal. Like, that's how Da Vinci like makes it for you.
My favorite
What's it
thing.
called? You have
my
to
favorite
upgrade
part-
it, but you upgrade it to leather right after that. I'm like, what? Isn't that a downgrade? Like,
I don't know. My favorite part of that in the game was whenever he's like, I gotta cut off a finger.
oh yeah.
And then-
I
and then-
instantly
and
loved
then
Da Vinci.
Vinci
After
would-
that. I think you can see it just pop out of the
Yeah.
seat. He's
He's
just like,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I made modifications.
the like look in his eyes, like, look at this crazy motherfucker. Like,
That's a cool thing that was never explained in the first one. Is that it never talked about you missing a finger.
oh,
You
well,
just
yeah.
see him missing a finger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the reason
but you
was
also saw the
because-
blade going through there, so you figured, that
Yeah,
was a sacrifice.
yeah, that was the
sort of
cool thing. Is that you see the blade going through where the ring finger is.
Yeah.
And then he like wraps his hand around like that.
Plus, I really liked how it was very ceremonial in the Brotherhood games and stuff, where you got to, once you upgraded your people, like your assassins, like you would have that initiation, the same that happened with you.
Mhm.
But I don't remember seeing that in any other Assassin's Creed game. Like, they need, if they're gonna introduce a new character
can-
into Assassin's Creed, you
I
can't
almost
just
cried.
be like, okay, so you get the gist. Let's just fucking.
I almost
get to it."
cried the time I brought in my assassins. I'm like, fuck him up. Like you do like RB or LB,
Yeah.
and he goes, and then like a bunch of them come out,
Yeah.
and then
That
some of
was-
them came out, but there was like such a huge fucking group that like one of them died, and I'm like, oh no, that's my best assassin.
Yeah, I know, like, no, that's why
And
I
then you
hated the
no,
apple.
check it, and then you could walk up to them, and then you look, Ezio like looks down, and you can press A, and it says close eyes, and I'm like,
Oh, I know.
and then you
Like,
close their
you're
eyes,
saying-
and you're like, no.
Did you know there's
Wow.
an animation?
Seriously though, man.
It's like an iPad animation thing of the last days of Ezio, and he trains one last assassin, and then he gets like poisoned or something and dies on a bench. Yeah, he didn't even fucking.
Oh, he
die.
dies. He dies.
Because he
Edgar Allan
retired.
Poe.
Yeah, he retired
in
at
the
the last
Ravens-
game,
in
and
the
he had a
Ravens died.
wife and kid. a daughter, like 12 years old or something like that, and they were at the market, and this guy comes up and just says something to him. He's like, "Oh, the girls in this town are really ugly. I heard they were much better in Rome." And he's like, and Ezio, referring to the game where he was in Rome, he makes some kind of comment, whatever, and the guy's like, and then you see Ezio kind of clutch his chest, and this guy gives him like this really weird grin, and he's like, "You need to like slow down, old man," or something like that, and he like gets up and like still giving him like this creepy smile and walks away, and Ezio's just like breathing hard, and like you can tell like he's hurting on his chest, and then it goes to show his family. And they just, like, all of a sudden they drop what they have and they get all wide-eyed, and it shows back at Ezio, and he's just, like, collapsed, like, dead on the bench. And I was like, my favorite character didn't even get a proper send-off. Like, he didn't even die nice. Like, he had a shitty life. Like,
a really shitty life.
His life fucking sucked.
That's why he was cool, though.
But it sure was interesting.
And then we got